want your guitar solos to stand out, look, shred is great. I love playing fast. I encourage you, play as fast as you possibly can. That's great. It takes talent to do that. But if you want your guitar solo really to stand out and captivate people, well, it's going to be those melodic licks that you play. It's going to be those memorable, this is a really important word, the memorable licks, okay? The licks that just get stuck in people's head after they hear your song. So maybe you shred a little bit, but you want to put in some sort of melody somewhere in that solo. And this is a melodic lick that I want you to learn because it's going to help you create your own melodic patterns. So we're going to get started right away. Be sure though you hang around for the guitar chat at the end. We're going to break this down note for note, but first let me play it for you out in the open with no backing tracks, and you're about to be playing this in a couple seconds here. Now, let's talk about the easy parts here, okay? Let's kind of simplify this. Number one, well, we're playing across 3 strings here, okay? The G, B, E string, no more strings involved, so we got that down. The pattern is pretty much the same. So we're playing kind of like 4 patterns, but it's relatively the same, very similar each one, right? And the cool thing is we're not really playing 4 patterns because 1 and 3 are the same exact pattern. So that simplifies things a little bit more. Now, each pattern, and this is what's cool and this is what makes it very melodic, is that we're going to be kind of hanging on the one note throughout each pattern, okay? So that one note that you're playing, and we're about to jump into the first pattern here, that one note, the lowest note, is going to be consistent while you're playing the other notes, okay? So that one finger can kind of just stay in that one place, if that makes sense. And it's going to make sense when we get to this part. Now, the one challenging piece that may be for some is the initial string skipping part, okay? I know that technique can be a little challenging if you're not used to doing that. I want to give you a little tip for that though. So the first part of this first pattern here, we're going to start out on the E string, and what are we on? We are on 15, 17, 19th fret, then G string, 16th fret. Now, I am alternate picking this. There's no right or wrong way to do this, guys. You know, do whatever you want, but I like to alternate pick this pattern because it actually makes it a little easier, and it's really good practice for alternate picking as well, especially when you're string skipping like this. So I'm going to upstroke. I'm going to start out with the upstroke on the E string here. Then I'm going to go head over to the G string and do a down pick there. So and no, we're not playing Sweet Child of Mine. Hey, that's a cool lick. I mean, imagine, you know, Slash actually wrote that. It's pretty creative. But as we play this, it really doesn't sound anything like it. In any case, if you need to practice the string skipping, then just go back and forth between the E and the G string. Upstroke E, downstroke G, just like this. One other practice tip I'll give you is instead of like leaving your fingers on the notes, kind of get some unwanted string noise with that, take the fingers off, okay? Take your fingers off the frets like this. Okay, moving on, so the other 2 notes that we're going to play after we do that little string skipping part there for this pattern are going to be 17 and 19 on the B string. So we're going to hop back and forth. After the string skip, we're going to hop back and forth between the G and the B string. So watch me close here. Now I'm able to play this pretty clean again because I'm taking my fingers off of the frets, okay? And this actually just, I don't know, this just helps me a lot in many ways, but it also helps with clarity of the notes as well. If you keep your fingers on the frets, it's going to get kind of messy. So if you practice taking your fingers off of the notes in this particular case, I think it will help you greatly. Now, that's pattern 1. Pretty simple. We move up to the second pattern. We're going to move our core note. Remember that note, that G string note there, that stayed consistent throughout, right? So now we're going to go from 16 to 17, and we're going to play this. Okay, so we're actually going to start with the upstroke on the E string, and I got to count these out. It's 15, 17, 19, 20. Okay, we're on the 20th fret. And then we're going to go back to the G string. Remember, upstroke the E string, then down pick the G string there. And then our next two notes on the B string, which will be playing back and forth between the G and the B, will be 20 and 19. So I'm going to play this slow for you, okay? Now the third pattern is the same as the first pattern. So we'll skip that because this is actually the same, and we'll go to the fourth and final pattern. And that's actually going to be exactly like number 1 and number 3, but we're just moving everything down 2 frets, literally. I mean, we're gonna have our core note on the G string go from the 16th fret to the 14th fret. Everything else stays the same, relevant to you know, going down 2 frets there. Okay, so it's going to be this. Let's play it all together. I'm not worried about speed with this, guys, okay? And we'll talk more about that in our guitar chat here. But I'm not concerned about your speed and all this. Again, we'll dive deeper into that. I'm going to play this slowly. I'll speed it up just a little bit as we go, but just play along with me here, okay? It is time for our guitar chat, guys, but real quick, if you do not have my free practice guide, Metal Riffs and Licks, this guide has literally helped thousands of guitar players on my YouTube channel here, so grab a copy of that. Now, I will be transparent with you. I do pitch my online guitar courses. I have courses out there, 2, and there's 1 in the works, by the way. We'll be announcing that probably in 2024, but you're not obligated to buy anything from me, guys. You don't have to buy my courses. You're going to get the free guide anyway, so hey, you might as well grab a copy of that if you don't have it yet. There's a link in the description of this video. What I want you to do, guys, this is your homework assignment here, okay? Yes, you have homework now. I want you to take these patterns that we went over. I want you to add to them, okay? Now, adding doesn't necessarily mean adding more notes. Maybe adding is taking away notes, but I want you to play it in different places, add notes, take away notes, whatever you want to do. What I'm asking you to do is add your own style to it, add your own flavor to it. As you were playing that, did you hear something else, right? Did you feel like going to another note instead of the note that I was telling you to go to in this lesson? Well, go try that note, okay? Maybe you want to switch up the pattern itself. Maybe we use the 3rd finger in some areas first before the 1st finger on that next string over. So maybe you want to switch those notes around, okay? Especially those notes on the B string. Maybe you want to just turn the pattern around and start on the G string instead of the E string. Remember, we started with that upstroke. What I'm encouraging you to do, guys, is just take it and run with it, because you can come up with so many licks in this little pattern, this series of patterns that we just went over. I also want you to do this. I want you to play something completely different before you play these patterns, or the pattern you're going to make up that's kind of like it, and then end with something completely different. You know, I talked earlier about shredding, and then I talked about creating melodies. Well, there's no reason why you can't have both. I prefer both. I love to hear shred guitar. Somebody that's talented and can do that sounds amazing, right? But then I love to hear a person break into something like what we just did. So this is pure magic in my book. If you can combine the two together, maybe start out with some other melody, go into this pattern, maybe shred a little bit, then go back into this pattern or some other melody. You know, just switch it up and see what you can do. So I want you to run with this, guys. Hey, if you have any questions about, string skipping, or if you want me to do some more videos on this particular technique, because I know this can kind of be challenging if you're not used to playing it, just let me know. And hey, let me know what else you want me to make here on YouTube for you guys. I am here to help you guys. And on that note, if this video helped, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Guys, I will see you on the next video. Until next time, keep it metal.